This is Michael's story. For 730 days, this car wasn't just a vehicle. It was his bedroom, his kitchen, and his fortress. 2 years ago, a series of unfortunate events, a job loss followed by a family crisis, sent his life spiraling. He lost his home, but he managed to hold on to his car. Little did he know, this sedan would become his entire world. At first, he thought it would be temporary, a few weeks at most. But weeks turned into months, and months stretched into 2 long, grueling years. Every morning, he'd wake up to the condensation on his windows, a stark reminder of his reality. This wasn't a road trip. This was survival. And today, we were going to share his incredible journey from the driver's seat back to a life with a front door. Life in a car is a constant battle for the basics. Imagine trying to get a good night's sleep when any knock on the window could be the police or someone with bad intentions. Michael became an expert at stealth camping. He'd find quiet industrial parks or 24-hour gym parking lots, places where a single car wouldn't draw too much attention. He'd put up sunshades, not for the sun, but for privacy, creating a tiny, dark cocoon. But sleep was always light, interrupted by the fear of being discovered and told to move along. Then there was the food. Without a kitchen, his diet consisted of whatever didn't need cooking or refrigeration. Canned beans, peanut butter sandwiches, and cheap gas station snacks became his staples. He'd occasionally treat himself to a hot meal from a fast food dollar menu, savoring every warm bite. The car was cramped, disorganized, and a constant source of anxiety. It was a space that was both his only shelter and his ever-present cage. But humans are incredibly resilient. Michael developed a set of survival tactics that became his daily routine. Mornings started at a local 24-hour gym. A cheap membership was his ticket to a hot shower, a clean bathroom, and a place to feel human for an hour. It was a small slice of normalcy that kept his spirits from completely breaking. For work, he turned to the gig economy, food delivery apps, freelance tasks online, anything that offered flexibility and quick cash. His car, his home, was also his office. He'd sit in library parking lots, using their free Wi-Fi to find his next job, his laptop balanced precariously on the steering wheel. He learned where to find free water, which parks had public outlets to charge his phone and power bank, and which grocery stores had the best clearance sections. Every day was a complex puzzle of logistics, a constant effort to maintain dignity and hygiene while living on the absolute edge. He was invisible to most, just another car in a busy lot, but he was fighting the battle of his life. After nearly 2 years, the constant stress and isolation were taking a heavy toll. Hope was a luxury he felt he could no longer afford. He was close to giving up, close to selling the car for a few weeks of motel stays, which he knew would be the final step into street homelessness. One afternoon, sitting in a park, he was trying to charge his phone when a woman walking her dog stopped. She didn't ask what he was doing, or look at him with pity. She just smiled and said, "It's a hot one today, isn't it?" That simple act of kindness, of being seen as a person, broke through his wall of despair. They started talking. He was hesitant at first, but her genuine interest made him open up. He told her a little about his situation. Her name was Sarah, and she was a volunteer at a local community outreach center. She didn't offer empty promises. She simply gave him a card and said, "We're here if you want to talk. We have resources that might help." That card sat on his dashboard for a week. It represented a choice: stay in the familiar struggle or take a terrifying leap of faith. Finally, Michael gathered every ounce of courage he had left and walked into that outreach center. It was the hardest and best decision of his life. He was met not with judgment, but with compassion. They connected him with a caseworker named David, who listened to his entire story. The first step was getting him into a transitional housing program. It wasn't a permanent home, but it was a room with a real bed and a door that locked. The first night he lay in that bed and cried, overwhelmed by the quiet and the feeling of a solid roof over his head. David helped him polish his resume and practice for job interviews. They worked on finding something more stable than gig work. Within a few weeks, Michael's experience in logistics landed him a full-time position at a local warehouse. The first paycheck was a monumental moment. It wasn't just money, it was freedom. It was the key to leaving homelessness behind for good. The road to recovery wasn't just about finding a job and a home. It was about healing. Michael started attending the center's support groups, where he met others who had faced similar struggles. Sharing his story and hearing theirs made him realize he wasn't alone. He learned to unpack the shame and trauma that had built up over 2 years. He began to forgive himself and to rebuild his confidence. It was a slow process, with good days and bad. There were moments of anxiety, a lingering fear that it could all disappear again. But with the support of his new community, he kept moving forward. He learned to budget his money, started cooking his own meals, and even rediscovered old hobbies. The simple joys of life, like brewing a cup of coffee in his own kitchen or sleeping through the night without fear, felt like miracles. Today, Michael has his own small apartment. It's modest, but it's his. The car he once lived in is now just for transportation, a tool to get to a job he enjoys and to visit friends. He volunteers at the same outreach center that helped him, sharing his story to give hope to others who are where he once was. He wants people to know that homelessness isn't a character flaw. It's a circumstance that can happen to anyone. His journey shows that with a little help and a lot of determination, it's possible to find your way back. He's not just a survivor. He's a testament to the power of human connection and the strength of the will to start over. His story is a powerful reminder that a moment of kindness, like a simple conversation in a park, can be the turning point that changes everything. Michael's journey is far from over. Rebuilding a life takes time. He's now saving up. With a dream of one day going back to school to get a degree in social work, he wants to dedicate his life to helping others navigate the system that he found so difficult to manage alone. He says the most important lesson he learned is that asking for help is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. For anyone out there who might be struggling, please know that resources are available. There are local shelters, outreach centers, and national hotlines that can provide support and guidance. You are not alone in this. Michael's story is proof that no matter how dark things seem, there is always a path forward. A new beginning is possible. Thank you for watching Michael's incredible story of resilience. If his journey inspired you, please consider liking this video and sharing it to spread the message of hope. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that matter. Every view and every share helps raise awareness about these important issues. We appreciate you being part of our community.